Hello there and welcome back to the channel and another episode in my Captain series. If you're watching this at the date of release, you might have noticed there's been a slight pause in my uploads, and that's mostly because I was really ill, and as you can tell from behind me, I've been doing a bit of rearranging in my house. So everything's a bit of a mess and it's been hard for me to find time to do this, but we're back, and we're back, as I said, in the Star Trek universe. And we're looking at Captain Silva LaForge, famous for being Geordi LaForge's mother. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe and comment down below. And with that said, let's get started with this video. Captain Silva LaForge was a Starfleet officer who by the year of 2369 had been posted to command of the USS Hera. She was married to a man named Edward LaForge, whose career was quite different to her own, an astrobiologist, and they were often separate and working in different fields, with her quite often her career being posted to the Romulan neutral zone while he was off on some planet somewhere doing research. This meant that their two children spent a lot of time travelling to and from both of their parents, their children of course being Geordi LaForge and his sister. Now, eventually, as I said, by 2369 she was posted to command of the USS Hera, which was a Nebula-class starship, which was one of an unusual part of the fleet of vessels which had its crew mostly not human but actually Vulcan. She was in command of the vessel for just 7 months before the ship disappeared without a trace. Upon becoming in command of the vessel, she threw a party to celebrate her appointment as the vessel's commanding officer for her crew, of which her son Geordi had attended. But as I said, the vessel would disappear 7 months later without a trace, and despite efforts by multiple starships to locate the missing vessel, it would actually never be found and was eventually listed as lost, although its eventual fate would be explored in beta canon sources, having actually survived and, according to Star Trek Online, would later be destroyed by Orion pirates in 2309. Concerning the Hera's actual disappearance, a few weeks before its disappearance, it had received a new chief engineer who was regarded as one of the finest engineers in the fleet, but she did have a habit of trying to push the ship's engines. Now, the vessel would be experimenting with various different types of modifications to the engines to try and push them even further and make the ship even faster. It is believed that this may have had something to do with the vessel's ultimate disappearance, although exactly how the two are connected is speculative only. 10 days before the ship's disappearance, the Hera had travelled close to the planet Mariana 7 before travelling to Deep Space 3. A day later, after receiving orders, the ship departed DS3 on a routine courier mission, and then for 5 days shortly afterwards the station failed to establish contact with the ship, and 3 days later the Hera was declared missing. The ship's reported position was over 300 light years away from Mariana 7. The USS Excelsior and the USS Noble were dispatched to try and locate the vessel, but never found any trace of the ship. The only thing we ever see of Captain Silva LaForge was during a use of an experimental technology by Commander Geordi LaForge when he was using a remote drone to explore a downed vessel in a hostile environment that was directly transmitting images back to his brain via his implants. It's a long story, but basically during this he was experiencing visions of his mother, and that's really the only on-screen sight we ever have of her, other than learning of her backstory. By all accounts, she was a well-respected and highly regarded Starfleet officer who had risen through the ranks quite quickly to the rank of captain, and was respected by her crew and her comrades. She was of course survived by her husband and her 2 children at the point of her death. Now, that's really all we have on Captain Silva LaForge. Tell me in the comments below which other background captain you'd like me to include in this series. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Check out the playlist. I have a full playlist of captains videos that hopefully I'll remember to link. Probably won't, but hopefully I will. As well as at least 2 other playlists, I believe, of Star Trek related content. One related purely to the Mirror universe, and the other to all things Star Trek broadly. With that said, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you for watching, and bye bye.